The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Friday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig with you, and as we promised yesterday, this show is going to be one jam-packed full of regional final previews and interviews, and we're going to start with Canfield and be joined by one of their wonderful players in Marina Koenig. Marina, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
What does it feel like getting into this regional finals? The team won a district last year, got to the regional semifinals, fell in that round. So now this year you come back and get back to that round and you take the next step into the regional finals. What does this feel like for you guys the last couple of days?
It feels really awesome. We've worked really hard for it.
When you think about, the hard work that has went into the season, like you just said, the final out of that semifinal, what were some of the emotions that you felt when you realized that you guys have taken the next step into the next round?
It felt really great. I mean, we put a ton of work and time into it, and really being able to see us make it to that level, it's a really great feeling.
When you think of the work that you put in personally, what were some of the things that you worked on so much this season that you wanted to set for your own personal goals to have throughout the year?
Yeah, I was really focusing on trying to get the bat on the ball and really kind of go back to the basics and make the good plays when Atlanta, especially really do what needs to be done for our team.
When you see yourself be able to accomplish all those goals that you said, here you are in the regional finals, what kind of importance does that put to this season? I mean, how much have you treasured this year to be able to set those goals in the off season and now accomplish them here near the end?
Yeah, this has been our goal for the whole season so far, and being able to kind of make it here, and that feeling's really great to be able to finally accomplish that and see all the work that we've put in finally pay off.
Now, you guys have a great community that supports you guys at Canfield. They have rallied behind you, especially through this tournament run. What's it been like going to these tournament games far away in Nordonia and to feel the support that you guys get in the stands?
It's really awesome. All of our parents are really great supporters, and even seeing some people from school in the stands, it's really awesome to see them make the trip down there.
I know it wasn't a tournament game, but that game at Fitch, I mean, you had fans everywhere against Fitch at home last week. So to see the community support back you up, we know what it means. The other thing I want to ask you about is, obviously this is Coach Kernan's first year with this program. What has he brought to you guys, and what do you think it's been like under him for this year?
Yeah, he brings a great intensity to our team, and he really pushes us to work hard and kind of make ourselves more of a well-rounded player and individual, and also helps our team chemistry greatly because he cares about us a lot, and it's a really awesome thing to be around every day.
We have all the coaches in the world that say, we care about this team and we put this team and then we care about the person more than the player. But I want to know what kind of things Coach Kernan does personally to prove to you guys that he means it when he says that. What are some of the things that he does that proves to you guys that he cares about you guys as a player as a person more than a player?
He always makes sure we're okay, and he always makes sure we have snacks. Him and his wife do a great job with that, and we always have snacks in the dugout for us. He always checks up on us and has talks with us, maybe if we have a bad game, always reassuring us, and it's really awesome.
I've heard that the snacks and the Canfield dugout are just everywhere. What are some of your favorite dugout snacks?
I always have a piece of gum. I always have to have a piece of gum, and then Airheads. I love the Airheads.
All right, so since you always have to have a piece of gum, what's the go-to gum that you chew?
What was that? I'm sorry.
What's the go-to gum that you chew that you have to have during the game?
You're cutting out. I can't hear anything. I'm sorry.
What is the go-to gum that you have to chew?
Oh, I like the extra gum, the mint, and then I also go for the watermelon. He has the watermelon gum in there too.
The other important question for that is, how many pieces of gum do you go through in a game?
Sometimes one, but other times like maybe two or three. In really intense games, maybe two or three.
Let's talk about your approach at the plate. You have been doing so well this year offensively. What kind of things have been working so well for you in the batter's box?
My kind of mindset going up to the plate is just like a yes, 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 or like a yes, yes, no kind of mindset going up there. I just want to do what's best for the team and just kind of get a base runner every time I try to go up to the plate.
Every good hitter has that one pitch that they like to look for in that one spot that they know if it's brought here, I am all over it. What's that spot in the zone for you? What's your go-to pitch that you look for?
I really like the inside pitch. That's a pitch I really like to get out in front of and just drive it to the left side of the field.
All right, so you've experienced a lot of great feelings in softball. For you, what is the best feeling the sport has to offer? Is it a home run? Is it a big base running hit? Is it a big defensive play? What's the best feeling in the sport for you?
I think right after we turn a double play in the middle or something like that, or someone makes a really great catch in the outfield or the infield, whenever someone makes a really big play, I love that feeling right after it, and you're just like jumping all over them, giving them high fives.
Let's also talk about your softball journey and when you started to fall in love with the sport. What were some of the times in your childhood that you really realized that you loved the sport of softball?
Yeah, I played travel with the same girls, same team for 6 years almost. Been playing with them since I was 10. And I think with them, I was able to really grow and kind of get used to everyone. And they really taught me how to love the sport and just play for myself and play for my team. And it's really awesome because they've become like my family and like my best friends throughout the years. And it's that's when I kind of realized this is what I want to do. This is why I do this.
How much did travel ball and playing all that in the summer help you build your softball career?
Travel ball is a lot of fun for me. I love feeling going out there and playing 4 to 5 games a day and kind of getting that endurance during the days and just kind of spending time with everyone. I think it does a lot for you, especially with being able to go out and play all of those innings in a day and seeing all the pitching that you do. It's a really high level.
Playing all those innings in one day, what does that do for your endurance? I know it's a long high school season and you're playing maybe 4 games a week and you have to be up every single time because every game is so important. What did the travel ball, endurance kind of teach you about yourself going through a high school season?
Yeah, it really helps you stay mentally tough and physically tough. And it wasn't as hot during high school season than it is in the midsummer. So it really helps when you're out there and you're playing less innings in high school than you do in travel ball. So you kind of, when you're finished with the high school game, you're still exhausted and you feel like you still have more to give too.
What are some of the things that you like to do after a big win to celebrate with your teammates?
Yeah, we love going out to eat. We go out to eat a lot with my teammates, and then sometimes my brother's playing, so my sister and I would go up there and watch my brother play. But I like spending time with my team and my family after a big win.
Yeah, we got to talk about having your sister with you through this. What's that been like to share the field with her and to be able to be on the team with Kenzie?
it's really awesome to have my sister there. I've been able to play with her for the past 2 years, and I haven't been able to do that before. And I think that it's a great thing to be able to look over and see like my childhood best friend with me for the whole way.
What's the dynamic like between you two? I mean, do you get along most of the time, or are you kind of the siblings that bicker every now and then? What's the dynamic with you two?
We bicker sometimes, but we are pretty good with each other. We always get along, and it's really awesome to have her with me because she's always on my side.
When you think of what it's going to be like, um, going into next year, thinking about your future a little bit more as you go into the upperclassmen stage. What are some things that you're starting to think about you might want to be interested in the future?
Yeah, continuing to play in college, that's always been something that my dad and I look at and look for. Coach Kernan has been really supportive with that too. Obviously, I can't make any contact with college coaches now, but it's always a thing to look forward to. And having Milena and Haley both being able to continue their career, it's really awesome to be able to learn from them too and their process kind of going into the recruiting.
Yeah, you have so many seniors on this team, so many great leaders. What have you been able to take from them into knowing that you're probably going to be one of the big leaders on this team next year?
Yeah, all the seniors have great attitudes and great mindsets, and it's being able to look up to them. Even when times are looking down, they're always there to help pick me up and help pick our teammates up. And I think at that, I want to be like let when I am an upperclassman. And also Milena, when she's on the mound, no matter what the game is going on in the game, she always has this mindset that I strive to be like when I become an upperclassman because she's just so calm and so collected whenever she pitches.
Milena is putting together an incredible statistical season, and I'm wondering what it's like playing defense behind that, and what it's like trying to stay engaged when she gets into her strikeout grooves, and maybe you guys don't get a lot of balls hit your way.
Yeah, it's tough to stay focused sometimes, but every time there's like a swing or like a foul ball and it looks like it's coming at you, me and Gianna always look at each other and like we always flinch because we never know if it's coming and like a foul ball like that, it just looks like it's coming right our way. But Milena does a great job with all the hitters and doing what she does best.
I don't think enough people talk about the relationship between a shortstop and a third baseman and what you guys do on the left side of that infield. What's it been like, with you and Gianna on the field together and building a bond with her? And like you said, both looking at each other sometimes when Milena is pitching. What's that been like for you?
It's been really great. I've never really played with Gianna either. We played this on the same team when we were 8 years old, and um, getting used to us playing third and short together. It's been tough, but we've kind of figured out each other and how we play, and it's been a really cool experience to be able to share that with her.
It does not take long to realize that this team has a strong chemistry and you guys are all getting together so well and you trust each other so well. What are some things off the field that you guys do to build the chemistry and build the bonds with each other?
Yeah, we always go out to eat. We go out to eat a lot. And we have like little get-togethers. And whenever I see everyone in the hallways, like we always say hi, have a good laugh, and like even during practices, we have a little bit of off time or a break. We always are able to share a good laugh.
All right, before we let you go here, we have to talk about this regional final tonight. And what are some of the thoughts going through it? You have T minus 4 hours before game time. What are some of the emotions and some of the thoughts that you're having before the game?
Yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to get focused up into the game, and we'll be going in to hit a little bit, so I'll be looking to get some good reps off of coach and off the tee, and just kind of staying focused, getting into the game, but also having fun with my team.
All right, when you get on the field tonight, who are going to be some of the first people you look towards in the stands to see where they're sitting and just kind of feel their support to calm you down a little bit?
I'll definitely be looking for my dad. He usually sits behind the backstop. He usually stands back there. I also kind of be looking in the stands to see who came to show up for our school. Um, yeah.
I want to give you the chance before we let you go to shout out anybody else that supports you so well and anyone that you think deserves to have the limelight shined on them in your kind of player profile interview.
I'd like to thank my dad for always sticking with me through everything and teaching me everything I know. And I'd also like to thank my teachers who come and support my games and come to them and ask me about them, ask about our scouting reports almost every day. It's really awesome to see the community kind of around us.
All right, Marina, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck coming up in about 4 hours in your regional final. We hope to see you again, and we hope to see you at Firestone Stadium next week.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, see ya.
Marina Koenig joining us and talking about this regional final that Canfield is going to play tonight at Nordonia High School against Marlington, all going down at 5 o'clock. You can find that at ysnlive.com/live. Those games for the regional final will be $9.99. One payment of $9.99 gets you access to all the regional finals that we'll have on the network tonight. We go from Canfield, and then someone that had to coach against Canfield twice this year and had to deal with Marina Koenig and her teammates, Austintown Fitch's Steve Ward, joining us. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us a little bit and talking about these regional finals.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me on, and always, representing the area athletes in the way you guys do. We always appreciate it.
We love it. And that's my first question, Coach. You look around, you see 4 teams in the area alone in the regional final. As a softball fan and as a coach in the area that probably has relationships with all the coaches that are playing today, what's it like for you to look around and see so much success out of the Youngstown area?
It makes me feel really proud of this area for how much the parents, the coaches, the youth organizations, the travel organizations all invest in these young people growing up, growing them as a person, not just as a player. And, it's a testament to how hard communities really work and how much they truly care about this game and growing this game.
You've played Canfield, you played Champion, and I believe you scrimmaged South Range, so you have experience against all 3 of those teams. Can you just put into words on this what makes the team so special in this area and the other teams that maybe not, that you got to play that maybe aren't at the regional finals but still so good? And what do you think makes this area so good in softball?
Uh, I hope it doesn't sound cliche, but love for your teammates. That each one of those teams, you see how well they treat each other, how much they respect and love each other. And just like Marina was talking about, how they go out to eat, they hang out, they see each other in the hallways. If you don't have that ingredient, you're not going to be a successful team. And I guarantee you, each one of those teams have it.
Let's talk about your team for a little bit. You're in the regional finals for the second straight year. Every player that I've had the chance to interview this year, I've asked them what lessons they learned from last year's regional final. And now it comes full circle because those lessons are going to be really in the forefront now that they're right back in the regional final. What about you? What were some lessons that you learned, coaching in that regional final, being in that stage, making the decisions on how to prepare for that you've taken into this year in the preparation and the, getting the team ready for this stage in the regional final tonight?
For us, and you heard it, it's quieting the outside noise. Outside the lines doesn't matter. What's going on doesn't matter. It's about us. And we preach that all year. It's about us. It's about what we do. It's about how we prepare. And one of the bigger lessons I took from, going playoffs last year is don't stop being aggressive. Don't hold up. Let your players play. Don't try and control it. They know how to play. Get out of their way. Manage them. Let's go.
Before we talk about Walsh and the game you're going to be playing tonight, let's talk about this regional semifinal. Another pitcher's duel that you found yourself in, 2-0, and you get the win over Berea Mid Park. Sydney Watts throws a no-hitter, and your offense just comes through in the clutch situations. Not a ton of offense, but timely hitting is important in the tournament. What did you see from your team? What was so important about that win? Now that you've had time to kind of ingest it, what were some of the things that you thought made the difference in that regional semifinal win?
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't hear me say it too often, but I think we're going to play with a little chip on our shoulder, and we have been because we've been hearing about our offense a little bit. And I tell you what, all credit to Berea because I think we had 4 strikeouts that game, maybe right around there. And we were putting shots into play. I told Ayla Ray to call the cops after the game because she got robbed twice on wonderful executed defensive plays, and she just lasered the ball twice. And, they came up with plays. And that's what you're going to get in, this deep in the playoffs. But we're really excited for the opportunity for our offense tonight against Walsh, and we're going to be aggressive.
I don't think anyone that watches you guys all season has any doubts in your offense, despite the last 2 games where there were 2 runs apiece. What kind of things do you tell your players to keep with the game plan if the results aren't coming, to not get outside of what the game plan is when they go up to the plate?
And that's what we stress in maturity is that, we all know that this is a game of failure. Not everything's going to go perfect. Not everything's going to go to plan. And how do we stay steady? How do we come up in that sixth inning, get a runner on, you know, get a pass ball, able to bunt it down on a sacrifice to third, 2 outs, freshman coming up, Kylie Folkline makes one of the hardest grounders I've seen all year. Girl dives for it, throws from the deep shortstop position off her knees, and Kylie runs it out by 2 steps, and we get the insurance run. Those are the type of plays that are really going to make the difference going forward, where we could scratch out a run. And because if we get up 1, 2, 3, that's a long hill to climb against Sydney Watts, McKenna, and Coach Spalding.
Let's talk about Sydney Watts and what she's done this year, especially in this tournament run, the last 2 games. A lot of high-pressure pitches with these low-scoring affairs. What have you seen from the sophomore to keep staying composed and keep staying with the game plan and not letting the pressure of a 1-0 game or a 2-0 game get to her in the circle?
Sydney shines in big moments. She's not afraid of big moments. She wants big moments. All of our team does, and they all got her back, and she knows it. So she could throw freely to know that if somebody does put the bat on the ball, we're gonna do our best to field it behind her and make it happen. So again, I've said it all season long. The biggest thing that I've seen from Sydney this year is her maturity, her approach, how she just handles now not being a freshman, but starting to become that team leader, that you're a sophomore, you're a little older, you've done this now. And, we're a very young team, quite honestly. So her voice in there really makes a big difference, and her maturity on how she handles situations. It really calms everybody down and gives us the confidence that we need.
It's almost a cliche in sports to say now that you can't coach clutchness and you can't coach the players that just want the ball or want the bat in the big game situations. But you have a lot of them. And what's it like to be able to coach players that just have that in them that you can't really tell them how to do it? It's not something that you can just coach. Is this something that they have? What's it like to have so many players that either want the bat, want the big at bat in the big situation, or like Cindy, they want the ball or they want the hit, they want the ball hit to them so they can make the big play. There's no one scared of the moment on this team. What's that been like to coach that?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you slightly on that. I don't think you're born with it. I want to give all the credit to their previous coaches, especially the moms and the dads out there who spent numerous hours, hundreds upon thousands of hours with their young people in the backyard, training them up, training them for this moment. So I do think that, it's a credit that they come up ready for these moments. And that's credit to their travel coaches, their rec coaches, and like I said, moms and dads who just spend countless hours with them. So I don't think they're born this way. I think there's a lot of people that help them along the way. And then they just develop that confidence, that grit, that toughness to them. And, I guarantee you talk to any high player, that's their backstory. And so, credit to everybody that has had a hand in this, because it's not just 1 year that does it. It's all the years previously. And, I get to talk to the dads and moms sometimes, and it's so much credit to them. We love them all.
Back to the personal question about you, though, what's it like to coach so many players that have that, whether they've built it or not? What's it like to have so many players that aren't scared of the moment, and you can, really just be rest assured that they're going to want the ball or want the bat in the big moments?
Wonderful. Quite honestly, it feels pretty wonderful to know that 1 through 9 players that are sitting right now that are getting, some opportunities in that they want to be in that moment. So to me as a coach, it's so wonderful being a part of this program. And when I say be a part of this program, everybody has different jobs that we need to do in the dugout in terms of coaching staffs, in terms of players' responsibilities, and everybody rises up to that occasion. So for me, it's really managing, and then we, make our adjustments in game, and we set our game plan and work on our game plan. So for me, it's, most of my anxiety, I was telling the kids this today because we were sitting around eating Chick-fil-A earlier, and now everybody's gone in the school. So it's kind of, quiet. I was going to have them all in the background here, and we're all going to talk to you. But, I said, hey, do you guys want to go home or wait another 2 hours? And, so.
No, I don't blame them. Let's go home for a little bit.
But,
you got some love in the comments section. Mark Roth saying fly, Falcons fly. Obviously, Mark is just one of the Fitch legends in the community there. So you got a lot of support coming with you to YSU. What's it like to see Falcon Nation really, get behind you and to have the support of you guys through this run?
You know what? The school support, the administration support, the central office, our principals, AD, teachers, staff, students, They love softball. Everybody is softball crazy. The community is just loving softball and where we're going. Actually, on my lunch break, I had to go pick up some dog food real quick. So I ran out, came back, or while I'm checking out, they saw I was wearing pitch softball, and they're like, "Hey, they have a game tonight. What do you think is going to go on?" And I'm like, "Oh, the community is behind us. We love them so much. Everything that they say to us, all the support that they give, it doesn't go unnoticed. It really fuels this team, and we appreciate you, Austintown community and Austintown schools, for everything you did to help set this path."
Let's talk about this game against Walsh. You talked about your team having a chip on their shoulder. I feel like Walsh is the same way. Ever since they lost their best player in the circle, they feel like, people counting them out. It looks like this team is one of those ones that just continues to find ways to win. When they feel like maybe people counted them out, they beat Hoover 7-3 to get to this point. What have you seen from Walsh, and what's it like to try to go up against a team like that?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll look back at my text messages and give you a specific date. But I remember at the beginning of the playoffs, I had text Coach Tony over there at Walsh. And I said, "Hey, hopefully I'll see you in the finals. Both of us make it." And he said, "Haha, got a long way to go." And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see you there, buddy." Because I know what type of coach and what type of program that is. So even though that is just devastating for Sousa, she's such an amazing person, such an amazing player. But that team has really rallied behind the injury and said, "Hey, we're going to do it for you. We know you can't be out there, but we're going to be with you and we're going to get your back." And they have been doing it nonstop, and they've been doing it offensively, defensively, very deceptive pitching. We got to really be on our game today. So trust me, Coach Tony and the Jesuit Warriors, they're going to come ready to play.
What's the biggest obstacle you think Walsh presents to you guys getting into the state tournament?
Two things that, we really worked on is both what we believe that they're going to try to do us pitching wise. So hopefully we're ready for that. And then second, they're very crafty, very aggressive, very speedy on the base path. So we're going to have to make correct choices in moments.
All right, I want to ask you about your players real quick, because I saw a couple of them at the South Range game after your game was done in, at the 2:00 hour at YSU. Obviously supporting people, they know, whether it's family or travel, but what's it like to see players that obviously a lot of players would just go home after a long game, after a long regional semifinal, but they care about the people outside of Fitch, and they care about the people that are in their support system. What's it like to see that kind of those kind of acts from your players and the people that you're able to call in the Fitch community?
It's something very special to see the players really get each other's backs. They really love each other. They are such amazing just people to each other. And again, we always talk about building relationships, that the sport is the sport. Inside the lines, we're going to go as hard as we can. Outside the lines, you know what? I'm going to respect everything that you did to get to this point. And our players are just like that as well. And they have lifelong friendships. They've been playing with some of these girls from South Range, from Canfield, from Champion, from oh shoot, who am I forgetting on that list?
Matthews.
Matthews. Yeah, sorry. Oh my goodness, Matthews. Their pitcher catcher combo. Wow. They've been playing with them since 10 years old. So they love and respect each other because they know what it takes to get to that spot, and they appreciate each other for that. And they can share each other's stories with that, because when you get to this point, nothing is easy. Everything hurts on you. No team is 100% in terms of their physical ability, just because of the grind of high school softball. And it's a marathon. And, we always tell our kids at the beginning, especially our freshmen, that travel ball is a sprint. High school is a marathon with schoolwork, with all the other responsibilities added to it. And anyone that's, making it through high school for 4 years playing, it's an amazing accomplishment, and much respect to them.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, I want to ask what a win tonight would mean for you and this program to get yourselves to Firestone Stadium into the state semifinals. Never want to put the cart before the horse, but what would a win tonight, what would it feel like for you? Can you even expect what the emotions you'd feel if you win?
No, and I'm not going to mentally go there, because we got a lot of work to do before we get to that part. And if we're fortunate enough to get to that part, I'll be able to tell you, later on. But right now, the focus is, let's get into our routine. Let's do what we're supposed to do, and let's go have some fun.
Coach, we're rooting for you. You know that. We'll have the broadcast for you at YSU like we always do. And we can't wait to see you guys succeed in every way, shape, and form. We wish you the best of luck tonight, and we hope that we get the chance to talk to you again next week about a trip to Firestone.
Oh, we hope so too. Appreciate it, and thank you guys for everything you do again.
All right, Coach Ward from Austintown Fitch joining us from Austintown, and they get ready for a regional final against Walsh Jesuit tonight at 5 o'clock at Youngstown State Sports Softball Complex, the home of the Penguins. Great venue for a regional final, I'll tell you that much. You can't ask for a much better stadium and a much better atmosphere to go watch softball in than YSU Softball Complex. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have another regional final interview to get to. This one's going to be pre-recorded, but you're going to hear from Bella Meyer, the junior who will call that Youngstown State Softball Complex home in 2 years. We'll hear from her on what she thinks about getting this champion team back to a spot where they haven't been since 2019 when they won a state championship with those great players down there like Allison Smith and Sophie Howell and company. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Bella Meyer for you on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Hi, I want to tell you about my Trish Yearwood home collection available at Sheely's Furniture, with 2 locations serving.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you. As promised, before the break, I should say, we're going to have the pre-recorded interview with champion junior Bella Meyer as she gets ready for a regional final tonight against South Range. So here's Bella Meyer. Just had the chance to talk with her before the show. Anthony Hartwig here with a champion softball player profile. I am joined by junior Bella Meyer. Bella, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
First thing we have to ask, it's regional final day for you guys, and it's the first time that this group of girls has played at this stage. What's it been like for you winning the regional semifinals 2 days ago and then now playing in a regional final here today?
I mean, we've come a long way. I don't think anyone has really expected us to come this far, and for us to finally prove to everyone that here we are, we can do this. And I think every game from here on out, the energy just keeps getting higher and higher.
This has been a real special season for you guys. Obviously, you're MVAC champions. You're able to sweep that MVAC. You're able to go into the tournament and have this big run. Was there a moment in the season where you guys started to figure out that you were putting together something really special and this could be a team that can make a really deep run like this in the tournament?
I think after we played Marlington and Hoover, I think that's when we hit our peak. We just played 2 big Division I schools. I think we were okay, I think we got a chance at this.
It wasn't an undefeated season. You guys definitely had a couple of bumps here and there. What was it like bouncing back from the little bit of adversity that you guys did have, or some of the games you guys played where, you were competitive, you were right there, but you didn't come out on top? What was it like to kind of bounce back from those?
I think after the team felt what a loss felt like, I think we just wanted to get back up and keep winning. I don't think any of us want to be done yet.
How much do you think those losses helped this team battle through the adverse situations they found themselves in the tournament? I mean, not a blowout against Lakeview in the district championship, and then Keystone obviously a 1-0 win. So there's a lot of high stress pitches on offense and defense. How much do you think the adversity through the season helped you guys stay composed through those moments?
I think after a loss, we go like the next day to practice and we work extra hard. We fix the little mistakes. But at the end of the day, a 1-0 ball game, it's still a win. So I think like if we're still on the top, it doesn't really matter how many runs at the end of the day.
Talk about staying composed in those high stress situations. Everyone on this team, like we said at the top of the broadcast, they haven't been in this moment before. Champion's been in this moment plenty of times, but even the seniors, they've never been to regional finals before. What's it been like to see the whole team just act like they've been there before, play like they've been there before, and stay composed in high stress situations this deep in the tournament?
We have a lot of faith in each other, and we have a lot of faith in Gabby. Like she's doing really good under these high pressure situations, and we know like what to do when it comes to it.
Speaking of Gabby Gradishar, she has not allowed a run yet throughout this entire tournament. No jinx. I'm knocking on wood for you guys. What has it been like playing defense behind her this year and seeing her, figure all this out for the first time in her first season at the varsity level?
Well, I mean, Gabby does a lot pitching and like all that. So I know like when a ball comes to me, I want to try and stop it down, make the play for her, take like less pressure off her, and get like less pitches so she doesn't overwork herself.
You are the leader of the infield, the middle of the infield, the shortstop. What's that been like for you this year as an upperclassman, first year as an upperclassman, to really take a few more leadership responsibilities and be able to lead the middle of the infield like you do?
I try to make sure like everyone knows what to do, where to go with the ball. I try to be loud so we don't get no confusion and make like a silly mental error.
What has it been like just, seeing this team kind of get back to what champion is, the tradition of champion, and to get this program back to where they're so used to being?
I mean, well, when we were young, we like watched the older girls and knew we wanted to be there someday. And here we are playing the regional final today. So it feels good to finally get back up where they were.
You're about 5 hours away from this regional final. What are the feelings going through your mind? What's going through your head right now? What are the nerves levels at? What's it been like today trying to get ready for this regional final?
I mean, I'm nervous, but I'm so excited. It's experience. Not most people get to, and to know that I get to, it's, breathtaking. And I just can't wait to get on the bus and get escorted and feel like, the vibe there.
What was practice like yesterday, getting ready for this game and getting ready for this moment with all your teammates?
It was really upbeat. We had music playing all the time. Everyone was loud. We were excited. Here we are, and we have a chance to, make the Final Four.
When we had you on during basketball season, we asked you how much, of a leader you had to be during that basketball season with all the injuries that occurred and how that was going to help you through the softball season. It was just speculation, though. We didn't really know how much that would help you in softball. Now that you've gone through almost an entire softball season and you're in the regional finals, how much do you reflect on the leadership skills that you built that basketball season when you watch yourself lead this softball team?
I think I definitely brought my leadership skills to softball. I make sure everyone's, up, don't stay down on yourself. I try to make sure everyone's confidence is up and know that, we need them. Like, we can't afford having people down. And during these big games, we need, like, the energy and, like, everyone's voices to make sure, like, our role keeps going.
Let's talk about the energy in the dugout. What's it like? How would you define this dugout and this personality of this champion softball team?
Our dugout's, different. We don't really cheer. We kind of just, make noises, you say a couple phrases, it's unique. So it's something there.
How does it compare to other softball teams that you play on, whether it be travel or things like that?
Well, travel, we kind of do the same thing, but we just played Keystone and they had like a bunch of cheers going. They were in rhythm. But for us, we just like start yelling, try to get our teammate hype up to bat.
When Addie hit the home run in the regional semifinals, and it was the only run you guys needed, what was that like to see someone who I know Coach Weaver and herself had said had been in a little bit of slump, and one of your teammates that has the potential to do that. What was it like to see her get that home run and to have that moment for herself?
I was so happy for her. She deserved that so much. She was like in a little like slump of just hitting right to people. For her to have that moment and go around the bases and be the only run for us to win that game, it was so heartfelt. Like she came back in the dugout, like me and her like literally teared up. It was everything.
Let's talk about your hitting. I mean, you have a over 600 batting average this year, which is second on the team, which is just amazing to think of. A batter that's hitting 600 not being first on the team. That's how good this offense has been. What has been working so well for you at the plate in your approach this year?
I've been really working on my mechanics. I go to a hitting coach probably every week or so. I try to focus on my weaknesses like outside, because most pitchers like to go out there. So I just try to work on like what I need help on.
What has been one thing that you think you've worked on the most in your swing or your approach or anything like that this year compared to maybe the last two?
I tried working on this year, like staying back on the ball and not plopping on my front foot, and hopefully like that helps me get elevation on the ball. So
one of the things we also have to talk about is your future as a YSU Penguin. Obviously, you're committed to YSU to play at the next level. What has that been like, this year, being able to not have to worry about the recruitment process and know kind of what your home's going to be, and to really just be able to go out and only focus on the high school experience and only focus on what you can do to make Champion the best softball team you can?
it's definitely stress free. I mean, I can just finally enjoy the sport and not worry about the next step. But every time I like step on the field, I have to know I represent Champion, I represent my travel team, I represent YSU. So it is a lot of pressure, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it.
Yeah, I want to talk about that pressure a little bit, because I wonder, does it ever bring you extra pressure? Like, people look at you and say, oh, she's a D1 commit. You have these expectations of playing like one, and you have these expectations of everyone kind of who is on the outside thinking, when they come and they watch you play, thinking like, this is a girl that should be playing like a D1 player. Does that ever like get in your head, or give you a little bit extra pressure?
It is in the back of my head. It does bring pressure, but I don't think it's like, I get up to play and I'm like, oh my God, I have to get hit because people see me like that. But it's definitely like there. I mean, like I have high expectations and for everyone and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm just a player, and I've succeeded, so I have to keep trying to do that.
To be at the level you are, obviously you have high expectations for yourself. How do you separate your own expectations and everything that you expect from yourself to those outside ones that we just talked about, and not letting them blend together, and not letting other people define what your expectations for yourself are?
Well, I have a job, I have to, I can't do everything. Like last game I didn't like exactly make every play I had, but I stopped the ball, I stopped the runs from going in. I busted my thumb, my two at bats last game, but I didn't want to like get down. I just tried to like put the ball in play and, do my job for the team at least.
What is the best feeling in softball for you? You have a couple of home runs. You've made a lot of big plays. You've had a lot of RBIs. What do you think is the best feeling in the sport?
I think honestly, like that last inning, that last out, and seeing like all of us come together. I don't think I have one individually. Maybe like just making that like play in the field, I think. But like for Keystone, seeing like us get that last out and celebrating with the team, I think that was the best moment.
Let's talk about that last out. What was it like? You win a regional semifinal. It's really exciting because you're going on the next round, but you only have a day to kind of remake and regather yourselves for the next game. What was that like? The excitement of winning a regional semifinal, but also knowing that like the job's not done and you do not have a lot of time to celebrate that regional semifinal, even as big of a victory as it was.
I think it just brings us more like ambition to like, let's go, like we're on a roll, let's keep it going. I mean, like we've come this far, and we've blown out a lot of teams, like, but like for us to win like a 1-0 ball game, 2-0, I mean, like anything is possible.
How long did it take for you to stop celebrating the Keystone win and turn your attention to South Range in the regional final?
I'd say probably like the next day at practice, we're like, okay, well, we have a new goal. We have to accomplish it. Here we go.
You talk about this region, and a lot of people agree that it's one of the toughest regions in the state. You had yourselves, Keystone, the defending champions in D2 and Triway, and then of course South Range. Now here you are in the finals. What's it like seeing two local teams in the regional final, knowing that you guys both teams get to go out there and show exactly what our area is about and how good our softball is here in the Mahoning Tri-County area?
We were really excited to see that we're going to be facing South Ranch. I think it's great. I mean, it shows everyone that like our area is, we're tough. So like for us to both make it to like the Elite Eight and play each other, and at least one of us are going to the Final Four. I think it's awesome.
Don't want you to give the barn away or anything like that, but what were some things that you guys talked about game plan wise, or things that you think are the keys to victory after having the conversations with coach yesterday and the practices yesterday? What were some things that you guys were focusing on in your game that you had to accomplish to win?
I think we really needed to like lock in more at the plate. Like we put the ball in play. I mean, like, but we're hitting right to people. I think we really need to like pick our pitches like wisely. If you're gonna pick that one, we need to drive it. Like it doesn't matter like how many runs we get, but like we have to get the hits when we need them. Coach Weaver said our energy was great, so just to keep that up, basically.
All right, we have to talk about Coach Weaver. She was just named the MVAC Coach of the Year, and it's not her first conference Coach of the Year by any means. But for you guys, first time I believe that she's been named Coach of the Year under this group. But what's it like to be coached by her, and the legendary status that she has and all the stuff that she's able to give to you guys? What's that been like to be under her for the last 3 seasons?
I mean, she has a big legacy for her, and we're very thankful to have her as a coach. She's so experienced, and we have a great connection with her, and she believes a lot in us, and she wants us to have this. So for her to be right by our side and coaching us right along the way, we're blessed.
We only get to see her at the games, in the third base box coaching you guys. Give us some insight on Coach Weaver outside of a game, in practice, maybe in the post game conversations. What kind of coach she is that the fans don't get to see?
She's kind of crazy. She's kind of wild, but we love that side of her. She has that spunk. She's dancing, she's singing, she's pumping us up.
What's a typical Cheryl Weaver practice look like for you guys?
It's pretty serious. We do a lot of fielding, hitting. We don't really have downtime, but that's what it is. We made it this far, so we should have that.
Every player has that one part of practice they love to do, that one drill or that one circuit that they love. What's that for you? What's the part of a practice or a part of even a workout that you really like and you really you look forward to that part of the practice?
Well, usually we hit off the machine, but everyone else goes in fields, so we kind of look forward to that because we get to shag our balls and like make plays that we usually don't.
What about the other end of the spectrum? What's the one part of practice like, oh man, we have to do this again, or oh man, this is so tough? What's the one for you?
Me personally is over the shoulders. I don't like over the shoulders. I've never liked them.
When you think of your pregame routines, are you superstitious at all as a softball player? What are the things you're going to be doing the next 3 or 4 hours to get yourself ready for a game?
Well, I eat Chick-fil-A before every meal. I just went actually. I put my uniform on the same way. I do my hair the same. I wear like the same eye black. And I think that's pretty much it for softball, at least.
When we talked to you for basketball, you were searching for a pregame meal. You hadn't found it yet. So has Chick-fil-A been the one you landed on?
Yeah.
When did you make that landing? Like what was it that won you over for Chick-fil-A?
It was our first tournament game against Wycliffe.
What's the order? Is it a different order every time, or do you also have to have the same stuff from Chick-fil-A?
It's the same. It's the nuggets and fries.
Well, it's a good thing that you guys won't be playing on a Sunday ever, because then you'd be in a tough spot. What do you think are some best post-game celebration? Like, where's the post-game hangout? Where's the post-game celebration for champion softball?
Usually Dairy Queen. We've went to Dairy Queen at least over 6 times on away games.
What's your go-to order there?
Well, the past 2 times I've gotten like a smoothie, but I usually get the Royal New York Cheesecake Blizzard.
And while we're on the food subject, inside the dugout, what's your favorite dugout snack during a game?
Our assistant coach, Coach Carp, she gets nerd clusters and like these sour punch things. She gets us so much candy, so before the game we all fuel up on it.
What about the drink? Everyone has a Gatorade flavor. What's your go-to?
It's the blue one.
When you think about things that this win today would mean, this is kind of going to be how we end this interview. If you win today, you get the regional final, you get this program back to Firestone Stadium for a state tournament. What would that mean for you guys? What would it mean for you?
I would mean so much. The community wants this for us so much. My parents, my brother, the coaches. A couple of days ago during practice, Weaver was saying how she wants it so bad for us to go in front of the whole stands in Akron, Firestone, and feel that emotion and to be playing there. It'd be a lot.
All right, Bella, before we let you go, always want to give you the chance to give anybody a shout out that supports you and that takes the time to make sure that you're supported and makes you feel special.
My friends, my family, especially my brother, he sends me these hype videos before every game day, and it gets me and the team going. My coaches, everyone that is supporting us during these games and wanting it the most for us.
All right, Bella, thank you so much for your time today. Good luck in tonight's regional final. We wish you the best of luck, and we hope to see you again real soon.
Thank you.
That was Bella Meyer from Champion getting ready for her regional final today against South Range, 5 o'clock in Canton. We'll have all 3 regional final games on ysnlive.com. It'll be Alec Caberna and YSU calling that Austintown Fitch versus Walsh game. It'll be Matt Marr going to Nordonia to call the Canfield versus Marlington regional final, and then I will be in Canton to call South Range versus Champion. Going to be a fun night. We're definitely hoping for a 3-for-3. We're guaranteed one team in state, Champion or South Range. Who's going to win that one? The winner of that one goes to state, and then hopefully we'll go 2-for-2 in the other ones. And next week we can talk about 3 teams heading to Firestone Stadium between Thursday and Friday. State semifinals are Thursday and Friday. State championship is Saturday. We'll also have all the regional coverage of baseball next week as well, as baseball moves into regional semifinals. Remember, 1 round behind softball if you ever have trouble remembering. So when softball's in state, baseball's in regionals, and then baseball will be in state the week after softball. So it's going to be a great time. I'm going to get out of here because I have to get ready to actually head to Canton pretty soon. So this is going to be the end of the show. We want to thank Coach Ward and Marina Koenig and Bella Meyer for their time in such short notice. I was talking about it yesterday. It was hard to be like, hey, they won on Wednesday. Let's get a hold of them on Thursday and try to get a time with them on Friday to get them on the show. It was I appreciate all their time, and Marina and Steve for taking the time during the day to actually be on the show live, and then Bella obviously giving us her time just before the show to come on game day to be able to do that. We appreciate it a lot, and we get a lot of credit for shining the light on the athletes, but they should get a lot of credit for helping us do that and giving us their time and being so gracious with it. So I want to thank them all for their time today to help us kind of preview this regional final day that we're so excited about. So for Anthony Hartwig, that'll do it for today's show of Running Point. Remember, all games today can be found on ysnlive.com/live. 1 payment of $9.99 gets you access to all of the games that are on the network for tournament time tonight. And then have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday to recap all the action